Hello everybody, welcome to another week of videos. This time I've got a sponsored video from Wizard Magic where they've given me an account and a little bit of early access where I can have any of the cards that I want. As you can see, we have 100,000 gems, 11,000 gold. We are set up for everything. This is early access before the open beta starts, and I mean, it's looking pretty cool. There's some new changes. One of the things that they did add in is a little Navi character, basically, that you'll hear in the background a little jingle, jingle, jingle of that sparking all the time. And we're not allowed to do any other modes until we finish our main quests, apparently. But that doesn't bother me, because we are trying to do the main decks. We have a cool new deck for you today. So this is a Surveil deck. It was talked about by Paulo Vito Damaderosa. I changed a few things myself. There were some things that I really liked. But you can definitely check out the original article on channelfireball.com. I'll put the link down below. But I really wanted to make this style deck already, and then when I saw that as well, I was looking through Surveil creatures, and then I also happened at the same time to Google and stumble on this, and I was like, okay, well, this is exactly what I was thinking of doing, so here we are. It is a deck that is built very all-in on the Surveil mechanic, and it's basically a combo deck. So the idea is to try and use Thoughtbound Phantasm and Dimir Spybug as early aggression in a way, and combo pieces essentially to deal just explosive damage to your opponents through Surveil. So Thoughtbound Phantasm, whenever you Surveil, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Once it has 3 or more, it loses Defender, so it becomes a 5/5. And then it can start attacking, and it gets bigger and bigger from there. Dimir Spybug, obviously flying and menace, makes it really hard to block, and whenever you Surveil, you get a +1/+1 counter on that one as well. This one, I think Thoughtbound Phantasm is just kind of awesome anyways. This is a little bit of regurgitation from some of what PVDDR was saying, but this card's just kind of fine as a blocker anyways if you're playing a control list. This one is the one that demands that we be a little bit aggressive because it's got low stats at the start. A 1/1 flying menace for 2 isn't particularly interesting. Once you start getting into 2/2 and 3/3, then it starts getting busted. Now there's an obvious good card here in Thought Erasure for our Surveil. There's a bunch of things that we're going to be surveilling with. We're going to try and have some disruption with Thought Erasure. We're going to have removal with Price of Fame, making it cost a little bit less if you're hitting legends, and there's quite a few legends that matter right now. And also surveilling, obviously, being just kind of fantastic. Maybe a little bit better than Vraska's in this particular deck, Vraska's Contempt. Just because we do have to have that Surveil. Losing the life sucks, but man, I mean, just have to be all in on Surveil, right? We've got these cards. We also have Lazav the Multifarious, which surveils when it comes into play, and it can become a copy of anything in our graveyard. So we can use that to have additional copies of Dimir Spybug or Thoughtbound Phantasm, or really importantly, Doom Whisperer. This is kind of our ultimate, but I'll explain that in a minute. We have other creatures as well, like Blood Operative, that are really nice. So Blood Operative is here because you can have it as a cheap way to get extra value. When you surveil it into your graveyard, you can immediately get it back. And obviously it has lifelink, so it can help alleviate some of the other ways that we're paying life, either through Watery Grave or Notion Rain when we're having to deal damage to us. This will help a little bit of that, so once we actually put it into play, the lifelink's pretty nice. But obviously there's a downside to it too, in that we have to pay 3 to get it to our hand a lot of the times in the first place, but we can generally get value out of it. Then we have Thief of Sanity. These ones don't really fit the theme, but the card's just really, really good. I cut it down to 2 because I want to go more all in on the Surveil mechanic, but it's a flying creature that whenever you deal damage to them, it's basically a Night Veil Spectre. You can play cards out of your opponent's deck. The thing is that you get to look at the top 3, though, instead of just the first one and having to play that one. Instead, you get to play the top 3, and that's just ridiculous. This card is insane. Night Veil Spectre was pretty good in Standard. It was also because of Devotion to black and blue decks. Devotion was a big thing at that time. But, man, Thief of Sanity still seems really pushed. Then we have Notion Rain, and this is just for a little bit of smoothing the draws out, making sure we get extra cards. It's got Surveil, so obviously we want it. It's kind of similar to Read the Bones. You Surveil too, so it's a little bit better than Scry, and then draw 2 cards. So kind of a bit of an upgrade on Read the Bones here. And then we have Creeping Chill, another big combo piece, because once we do a lot of surveilling, specifically with Doom Whisperer, which I guess that I can probably get into now. So this is the end game that we really, really want to hit, which is why I wanted to have 4 Notion Rain. When we hit Doom Whisperer, you can pay 2 life and Surveil 2, and you can just keep doing that over and over and over and over. So every Creeping Chill that you hit gives you a little bit more surveilling that you can do. So the idea is, you say like turn 2 Dimir Spybug, turn 3 Notion Rain, turn 4 you might have to like Price of Fame something, and then turn 5, I mean this is ideal obviously, you Doom Whisperer, you've got your Dimir Spybug, it's gotten 2 Surveils on it already, so it's a 3/3, and then you Doom Whisperer and you go Surveil, Surveil, Surveil. Like you're gonna be at what, 18 life with Notion Rain? So you surveil like 3 or 4 times, get this to a 6/6. Oh look, you hit a Creeping Chill. Okay, I can surveil a little bit more. Surveil another 6 times. So now you're down, and you just like keep doing that until you hit more Creeping Chills, and you just Dimir Spybug and Creeping Chill your opponent to death, like right away. You can do it so fast with Doom Whisperer. I've tested this a couple times, and it seems really, really solid. Like, I don't know that it'll actually stand up to a tested meta. Obviously, this is really, really new. There's a lot of people playing right now that don't necessarily play Magic all that often, and some of them are probably trying to just, like, finish their quests and get to Limited, but this deck seems really fun anyways. Like, definitely pretty sick, and Doom Whisperer is really the engine that drives it more than anything else. And Creeping Chill just kind of helps you keep that engine going. Then we have Discovery and Dispersal. Again, just kind of more draw smoothing out, and a little bit of extra removal. So, like, it's a perfect split card. Split cards you want to have vastly different kind of abilities on them so that you can have them in multiple situations. And you also want to, if you can, have one that you know you're almost always going to be able to use, which is Discovery, right? So if Dispersal doesn't matter, then you can always Discovery. So it's not like a bad fail case, which is pretty sweet. So Dispersal, if you don't know, returns a permanent that your opponents controls with the highest converted mana cost, and then they have to discard. So they don't have any cards left. It can be really sick because you just remove the best thing on their board. Then the lands, we have a pretty even split. I went with 9 islands and 7 swamps because we've got a little bit more. Oh, sorry, that should be the other way around. Boop, 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 boop. That should actually be a little bit different. That should be this way. We should actually have 7 islands and 9 swamps, sorry. We're a little bit heavier on the black. We do need Thoughtbound Phantasm early, which is kind of an issue, but it should be fine. We don't always need to play it on turn 1 anyways. Normally we're not going to, like, surveil immediately on turn 2. We might sometimes, but, like, a lot of the times we'll end up with a Dimir Spybug or not have a 2-drop. I don't mind not having it for, like, 1 extra island out. We do need double black for things like Blood Operatives, and there's a lot more black cards in the top end, so I went a little bit higher with swamps this time. Got Drowned Catacombs and Watery Graves, 4 of each, because we've got access to all the cards. And yeah, that's the deck. So we're going to play it here and see how we do. And I've been having a lot of fun with it so far. I hope you enjoy it as well. And big shout out again to all of the subs and patrons who help make these possible. It's super, super fun. Sorry I haven't done a video this week too much. If you might notice, I'm a little under the weather. So if you hear me cough a little bit or sniffle a little bit, I'll try and edit them out. But I've got more than a little bit of a flu. So we're going to run through the games and see how it goes.